Welcome to Nephew and Uncle Basketball Banter, folks. Uncle Dave will just jump right into this game that just concluded, this Duke and Virginia game. Duke winning the ACC for the second year in a row.
Yep.
And gotta say, I think the highlight of the game here was Caden Boozer here. The guy who was only averaging 7 points wound up with 16 tonight and only 2 turnovers. So I thought he played a magnificent game. And Cameron, the guy who normally is carrying the load offensively for Duke, only wound up with 13. So one of those games where a little reversal there, but it was nice to see Duke have someone besides Cameron Boozer really step up here and score, especially when they're down a few guys right now in the rotation. So they were shorthanded and still able to win by 4 against a really good Virginia team who could certainly make a Final Four run. I think they're good enough to do that. Is pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, Caden Boozer was great last night, too. He had 16 last night. It was funny because in the Florida State game, they weren't guarding him. When you watch the Florida State game on Thursday, they backed off him. They actually put a guy in the paint, and he was hesitant to shoot because that's a weird thing for you when you're a McDonald's All-American for the first time in your life. No one's guarding you. And he had a bad game versus Florida State, and he almost didn't make it. But he stepped up the last 2 nights, and Cam Boozer showed you why he is the best player in the country. So he gets that rebound. He could go back up, but he kicks it back out. He makes
it was a really smart headsy play, right?
You can tell he's a pedigree. Obviously, Dad's a borderline Hall of Fame basketball player. He's a pedigree, and so But the Duke team, I've said this before. This team has a lot of holes, but they're better than the sum of their parts. They're just better. They know how to win close games. Their defense is ridiculous, and they have no business winning this game tonight.
It's so encouraging though, because if you would have said, "Hey, Cameron Boozer only is going to wind up with 13," you say there's no way they can win.
Yeah, and even Evans in the first half didn't do much. I mean,
yeah.
but
even though he wound up playing a really good game, 6 of 14. Yeah. So,
but the point is this team they're better than the sum of their parts, and they're a team that they just win these games. But at the same time, Virginia plays 11, they play fast. It's a perfect game for them to win. It's both teams' third game in 3 nights.
Right.
I would have picked up Caden Boozer full court every possession.
And just try to wear him out, right? Because he played the whole game. He played 40 minutes.
And that'll take effect because they have no backup point. That'll take effect at about the 10-minute mark in the second half.
Right.
And I kept waiting for it, and they didn't really do it. And I'm surprised because you know me. I watch Virginia, SMU, Rutgers, and Duke every game I can get them on. I've watched Virginia probably 25 times this year, no joke. And I've watched SMU and Duke probably 30 times this year, and I've watched Rutgers about 20 times this year. So it's those are teams I commit to first, and then so this Virginia, everybody's texting me I didn't know Virginia was this good. I'm like, what'd you think? 29-4.
Yeah, I know. I gotta say, you really have to take your hat off to Ryan Odom. His first year,
oh god, yeah,
9-5. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Should have won Coach of the Year. Him and Jai Lucas could have won Coach of the Year.
I mean, it's unbelievable in his first year. You have the whole new nucleus of guys to be this good in the ACC. I think if you're a Virginia fan, obviously you're thrilled that this guy's your head coach now.
Oh yeah, well he's don't forget he's the pedigree. He was stabbed as an assistant when he was a little boy growing up in Charlottesville, and so they got the pedigree back on campus, and
which means something to those alumni, like you said. You were been around the program and everything, so
that means a lot to them, and I'm happy for them. I really was, and if they had won, I wouldn't have been disappointed. The best thing about this win tonight is that it pisses off the Carolina fans.
Yes,
and puts Hubert one more step closer to. You realize he's not good enough. I wonder how long they're going to take before they realize that.
Yeah.
That being said, I think this Carolina team without Wilson is going to be tougher than people think. They're playing well because they've played 10 games without him, and they're sharing the ball. They're all stepping up. But the other night versus Clemson, their guards were abysmal. But they're just, this is going to piss off the Carolina fans, like I said, which to me is one of the greatest things on the planet.
Yeah, it is. Because it's different. You know this. If Virginia wins the ACC tournament, it's not the same as when Duke wins it.
No, when Duke wins it, it pisses off Carolina, and they were pissed off they didn't get to play Duke. So it's just great, to talk a little shit online to these punks. So but it was fun. It was fun.
I think we have to talk about Uncle Dave. Asenso from Nigeria. He broke the ACC tournament record with blocked shots tonight with 9. I mean, we've never seen anything like that. It's incredible. I mean, he was absolutely. If Virginia would have won, he would have been the reason why they won, I thought.
Well, don't forget, they're the number 1 shot blocking team in the country. They got him and the kid They got the big kid from Germany. So big kid from Germany starts. And Yatsu blocked 8 shots a couple of times when he was at Kentucky. How Kentucky lets him out of the fold, I have no idea.
Right.
And he doesn't start. Grumwald Groles starts, and it's okay. That's the starting lineup. Has not really changed it really, maybe once or twice. The guy that hurt Virginia tonight was DeRitter. DeRitter's all ACC first team. DeRitter tonight starts off with an air ball and a turnover.
Yeah, he's only one of 6
and
three
and
turnovers. He had a rough night.
really recovered. Never really recovered from that. And I've seen that from DeRitter this year. I've seen him have bad games, but he always finishes strong. And tonight he didn't even really do that. He woke up late. I thought there was a pressure sub there. The ball was moving well as long as Dallin Hall was on the floor. And your aunt pointed that out. She wanted to know why the ball's not moving so well. They got to take DeRitter out. So your aunt is on top of this stuff. And bottom line is she was right. And I was like, well, I looked on the floor and I said, Dallin Hall's not out there. And, DeRitter was having a bad game. But he hadn't been out there in like 10 minutes. But it's one of those pressure subs. I always call those, Neil appreciate this. I call those St. Anthony's subs where you feel like you have to put a kid in.
Yeah.
Because of who that parent is. We used to call those St. Anthony subs. And that's what that's what me and Mike used to get in trouble for because we didn't do those.
Right. Yep. True.
We didn't do St. Anthony subs.
No.
Sal Logano used to have to do St. Anthony subs.
Yeah. No.
This guy's parent donates a lot of money.
Right. No, they're expecting that they're going to be out.
So it's one of those damn things. But it's been a great couple of days of college hoops. There's been about 6 or 7 buzzer beaters. We talked about some of them the other night. The St. Louis game today.
Oh, there was 4 different lead changes in the last 20 seconds.
Yeah, you sent me that because I was just getting in when that happened. So that was great. I've been watching the bubble like a hawk. I've watched, just some observations though. Joe Lenardi, I've been checking his every bubble update. He hasn't updated it yet tonight. He probably won't do it till tomorrow. But there's not many games left to change the bubble. The only one that's really left is Dayton and VCU. So if Dayton wins, that league could get 3 teams, and that would kill somebody else's spot. Right now, Texas is the last one in Joe Lenardi's world. SMU's the second to last one in, so we want SMU to get in. Bottom line is, if they're smart, they'll put SMU versus Texas. That'll be a big rival because those schools hate each other.
Right.
And you'd make a fun game. The other thing is the other bid steal could be South Florida tomorrow. South Florida's metrics, though, if they lost to get in, might not get them in. But me, if you're 27-4, 25-6-5, I'm the person who thinks you should get in. But at the same time, that'd be a bid steal also. That's the only 2 bid steals left. But everybody else is a 1-bid league without a doubt. So, it's going to be fun. Be some nervous teams in front of the camera tomorrow night at 6:00.
No question about that. And how about Yale coming out with a win today?
Happy for Coach Jones.
Over Cornell. Coach, I tell you what, James Jones, Uncle Dave, is one of the best coaches in the country.
He is. He lost his top assistant who went to Carnegie Mellon. Old Kings Park alum went to Carnegie Mellon. Coach Jones,
all he's doing over there is winning. He's unbelievable.
Yeah. And the team he had a couple of years ago with the Jewish kid was the team that gave Duke a run about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, they were really good. That was a really good game. Duke, they gave Duke a run that game, but Malachi Mason, I want to say.
Yes.
And the bottom line is, I can't believe I pulled that name out of my ass at 58 years old. But I think I remember that shit. I can't remember what I had for lunch. But really, I can remember basketball stuff. Doesn't that stupid?
Well, it'll be funny. You won't be like, I joke around with my mother. It's 30 years from Uncle Dave. He might not remember his own name, but he'll remember what the score was of a Duke-Kansas game 30 years before.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't remember my name now. But the funny thing is just so much good basketball. I will make some other things here. The bubble is as weird as I've ever seen it, because since Wednesday when SMU lost, we needed like 10 games to go their way, and so far 7 out of the 8 have gone their way to help them survive. So they're still second on the bubble.
Yeah.
And that's just crazy. I want to thank Darius Acuff for keeping SMU in the tournament. Acuff was unbelievable today. He finishes off Ole Miss. Thank God. He might be. I'm telling you, man. they say he's 6'2". He doesn't look 6'2" to me. But Darius Acuff, if you haven't watched him, I've watched him like 6 or 7 times this year. He's the best scorer in college basketball. There is no doubt. He wears an Allen Iverson T-shirt, but I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying he's going to have a better career than him. He's a better scorer than Allen Iverson is. I'll tell you why. He's a better jump shooter. Allen Iverson's quicker. Allen Iverson's probably a better athlete, but this kid,
Yeah, he's fearless.
He handles himself properly on the court. He doesn't get involved in bullshit. This kid is. Every time I watch him, I'm just like, tonight he didn't even play well, and he had 19 and 8, and he took, just makes this impossible shot at the end of the game. I don't really know how big he is because they say 6'2", but he's not. But if he's not a top 7 or 8 pick in this league, especially with the NBA now, where everybody goes under on those goddamn ball screens.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's a better jump shooter than Allen Iverson, much better shooter. And like I said, Iverson had to compete in him, but he didn't work at it either. This kid, I'm telling you, man, I draft him high. I'd take Caleb Wilson, him. I'm not, the bench, obviously. I want Boozer to go to the Mavericks so he can fix the lotto. I want Flag and Boozer together so he can fix that Dallas Mavericks lotto. Now you have so many different people bringing the ball up. He does play point, but, in the past, guys that were his size, like Harold Miner and people like that. Now, Harold Miner was never as good as Darius Acuff, but guys like that had trouble because they were undersized twos. Today, it's not about that anymore. Everybody's switching.
You could put guys out there now. Yeah. It's like the Knicks, when the Knicks had success too, when they did do this, when they put Nate Robinson and Stephon Marbury out there. It's like if the guys can play, you just put them out there and they'll figure it out.
And he's so talented though. This kid, he's ridiculous. I mean, to me, he's one of the best scorers I've seen in college basketball for one season in my life. Just how effective he is. And Chris Beard, you watch that damn Mississippi team and you wonder how the hell they were 4-14.
Well, that's the thing. You're watching this. You're like, how are they 15 and 20? It makes no sense.
Yeah. And the big kid is a pro. They have a couple of good guards. And then yesterday, Arkansas wins big game with against Nigel Pack, who's like I feel like he's 75 years old. He's on the Randolph Childress program. But Nigel Pack was playing yesterday for I forget what team that was for, but he was playing yesterday. I watched Arkansas win that game. And then again today, Nigel beats Mississippi. And I was nervous because if Mississippi wins and they go all the way, they take a bid.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's why I was rooting hard for Arkansas. Calipari is the first bad defensive team he's ever had. They're the worst pick-and-roll defensive team in the country. They're awful. They can score, though. They have 3 scorers, a tough guy in the middle named UNEWEIN.
Well, yeah, Thomas, Acuff, and Brazil, each of them,
they can all score.
29. Yep.
And then they have the other kid, Billy. What's Billy's last name? Richardson. He's a stud.
And Ewan off the bench.
Yeah, but they're the worst pick and roll defensive team. Cal's got to be just going insane. They don't play any defense, and Cal's guys always play D. Right. So John Calipari tonight is not sleeping well after watching that. But Arkansas, though, at the end of a game, if it's tied, they're going to win because they got the stud.
Yeah.
And that's the difference I want to say. And again, this is not a criticism, but Cal at the end of these games is awful. I mean, I'm just trying to be honest about it. He's never been good at managing these games. But this is where Boozer's better than Cooper Flagg in some ways. At the end of games, Boozer's a better offensive threat. In his freshman year, it seems like Flagg all of a sudden has become a scorer. But Boozer is a better college finisher than Flagg.
At the rim for sure. Yeah, for sure.
At the end of games, I see, it just means scoring and running games back. And this Duke team, I've said it has a lot of holes. This team, I'm just afraid this could be a Belichick thing where they go 13-3, and then you go, well, how could we lose with this team? Well, this team doesn't have a great point guard. Evans is still streaky, and they don't have any depth.
No.
But I'll tell you the 2 guys that stepped up. Hemenya has stepped up. I mean, he has been unbelievable. Hemenya is all of a sudden his last 2 weeks has been. I kept telling you he's stealing money of somebody. He must have had naked pictures for playing. But Hemenya's been great. Obviously, the kid from the Sudan has been amazing. He's one of the best defenders I've ever seen. If he stays another year or 2 and just gets a little stronger, he's a pro. The big kid from Virginia, Anomitso, I mean, he's the player of the night in my book. But, he's – 9
blocks, unbelievable.
How's Kentucky let him off that place? I don't know, but he did. He left, and Virginia's great to have him.
Of course.
What you saw from Virginia that's going to help them is Malik Thomas tonight and Lewis are both veteran players. Malik Thomas averaged 19 a game last year in San Francisco. So this is a man, he doesn't get enough shots, I don't think. But again, that's Virginia's style. Virginia could definitely be an Elite Eight or Final Four team. I believe in that. I don't know why. I mean, I know you don't do anything for a fraction. I'm just waiting for Caleb Foster to play. You don't do nothing for it. You just play.
Right.
So we'll see. They're not going to win without him, though. Because I'll tell you what, Michigan's tough. Arizona is really good. I mean, Burry and Bradley are the best backcourt in the country. And they got the big kids in the middle. Arizona is tough. Michigan losing the injury kid, that's going to hurt. Arizona's the scary team.
They sure are. And Purdue had a great game tonight.
Florida got whacked.
Yeah. Florida against Vanderbilt. Yeah, they lost by 17 to Vanderbilt there.
Vanderbilt shot the hell out of it, and Florida didn't shoot well at all.
Do you think this, in some way, Uncle Dave, will take away Florida having a 1 seed now? People are saying.
No, because UConn got blown.
Yeah.
UConn went out and got destroyed, which is a real shock. But I thought St. John's would win.
Yep.
But it just seems. I've been saying all year I thought UConn was overrated. I just don't think that. I don't think. I think Ball is one of the most overrated college players I've seen in my lifetime. People talk about this kid like he's.
Well, he's just got a cool name, really. That's all it comes.
Yeah, his last name is Ball, but he is not. He's not LaMelo Ball. He's not even Lonzo Ball. So he's not good. I think Caravan is a good player, but Jesus Christ, 15 years ago, he wouldn't make all anything. He's a good player, not a great player. They don't have that shot blocking presence that they've had the past the years they've been special. I think they've been overrated, but Danny Hurley coaching gives everybody confidence. You know how the face of everything is the coaches. It's like all year long. I just heard so many people who are really locked in, and there's not too many, say Virginia's the least talked about team I've ever seen in my life.
They are.
A great record. They were 20. They lost one game in 2 months before tonight.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
And no one
never hear anything about them on the national stage. Like I said, people talk more about Kentucky and North Carolina.
Oh, of course, Kentucky is all you hear about. It's Kentucky. I want to vomit on myself. They suck. They're missing 3 guys, so I give them a pass. But Virginia's, Jesus God, Lord, they're leading the country in shot blocks. They're top 10 in offensive rebounding, and they're also top 10 in pace. Now those 3 things are scary. You know how much I value the shot blocker. You got a team that blocks shots. You got the big guy in the middle. That the beanstalk in the middle changes everything. Yeah. Plus, people forget they'll let him pop out and shoot, and he can hit them. So the bad news is for everybody else is that he'll block shots, but he can get himself a backup NBA job without a doubt because he moves his feet well too. So Virginia's a tough team. We're hoping that hopefully we get 8 teams from the ACC and it'll be fun.
This UCLA and Purdue game was absolutely outstanding today, and UCLA they beat Michigan State the other day. So I mean that was
another team that never gets punished for losing.
So I mean that was a phenomenal game as well. But yeah, Purdue and UCLA. The big thing today was Clough in the middle there. I mean, 17 points and 14 rebounds for him. I mean, unbelievable. And Braden Smith, 12 assists away from breaking Bobby Hurley's all-time assist record.
Yep.
So he's definitely on pace to do that, if not tomorrow, sometime in the NCAA tournament.
How many years has Braden Smith played?
This will be his 4th year. He
hasn't gotten an extra year?
No.
All right, well, he's going to pass Hurley now. That sucks. I'm a Hurley guy. Hurley's best college point guard I ever saw. Not the best player in point guard, but he's the best college point guard career.
Right.
But Braden Smith, though, they say defensively is struggling a little bit, but Purdue got hot at the right time. Here. So,
Coach Painter definitely a testament to him for sure.
Because they had a real rough patch there in the middle of February.
They did, yeah. They came out. It's like UCLA too with Coach
Cronin can coach. Mick Cronin can coach. If I was Mick Cronin, I'd go for a change of pace. I'd get myself involved in that Syracuse job.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, right? Go
get some resource because Syracuse spent money this year. So go, maybe UCLA's not spending the money. I mean, then maybe they're not. So go get yourself a fresh situation because he can coach. Bottom line is, he's a little sour, but he can coach. So let's get a guy that can coach. And by the way, Jeff Capel's staying on. We saw that.
Yes.
Pitt's going to – and the reason was I did a little research. The buyout's too big. These schools who are all losing money don't want to pay that buyout, and I don't blame them.
He has a couple coaches. I saw Porter Moser as well.
That's a good move because Porter Moser can coach, and you saw how good Oklahoma played well the other night. That was a team that Darius Acuff finished off as well, and if they'd won last night, they would have gotten in, and taking a bid. So we're really happy. Again, we're very happy for Darius Acuff.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm grateful for him.
Wanted to talk about for a little bit, Uncle Dave here. Frank Martin, he was talking about how the preseason rankings and everything, how could you put numbers on teams where they have, especially with this NIL era, where teams now are completely new from year
How
to
many
year?
times have we said that?
And it's so unfair to the mid-major schools. If you're a team that's like a Miami, Ohio, or a UMass, schools like the ACC, the Big East, the Big Ten, the Big 12, they don't want to come to your place and they don't want to have you by them either. They're definitely afraid to play a team like you and lose and have it hurt their standing at the end of the year.
We've created a bad system. Why? All our teams in our league were all assigned a number before the season started. Those metric numbers that are assigned to us, how do we ever change those numbers if we can't play the teams that are assigned the number 20 to start the season? Because they ain't scheduling it. Excuse my bad English. They're not going to schedule us. I've been around the block a couple times, and it's one of the reasons that I was so nervous today. It'd be an embarrassment, a complete embarrassment, if this league doesn't get 2 teams in. This league's too good. I've coached in Conference USA, Big East, name the league, I've been in it. And the top 2 teams in this league are as good as anyone in some of those leagues that I just mentioned. And
Then who won that now? I think Akron won tonight, right?
They did. Yep.
Yeah, Akron's good. Akron's 3rd year in a row winning. But Frank Martin's right. He's been a great coach for a long time. But the bad news is that there's 2 reasons they won't play him. 1, they're afraid of them. 2, they're looked at like if you lose to Miami of Ohio early, they're going to call that a quad 2 loss, and that's what you're petrified of. It's not only who you beat; they don't mind if you go 4-9 against quad 1. They just don't want any quad 2 losses. And you won't go to Miami of Ohio because the same reason why they wouldn't go to Butler back in the day. You could lose. Now Butler's in the Big East, so they're in the Power 5. But if you go there, you don't get good guarantee money. So you stay at home, and you don't want them coming in. You want – and again, this league has had success. The MAC has been a very successful league over the years. Akron's been good forever. Ohio's had success with a little point guard a couple of years back. Wally obviously won some games. But that league's had some success. Western Michigan, Dan Marley, fed some people over the years. The bad news is that he's right about that. But the bigger part that he's right about, though, is how do you rank someone number 2 in a year where they just get their team in June?
Exactly.
This is microwave teams, and we mean that. We're not saying anybody's doing it wrong. We're just saying that all of them are microwave teams. Maybe not the Ivies. Maybe the Ivies have some foundation of stableness. I'm not sure. But their roster probably gets the least amount of turnover. You heard Duke's the only team that really didn't hit the portal this year. They didn't have to. But most teams aren't Duke and don't get that right to get away with not having to hit the portal. My whole point, though, is that Frank Martin is right. You put numbers on these teams that we don't really know anything about. So, some night in November 5th, we're going to see, Duke play Michigan, and we'll call them 1 versus 2. We don't know crap about them. But the bad news is those games count so much early.
Oh, they absolutely do.
And thank God. I mean, SMU beat Texas A&M this year. That win got them, and is probably going to get them in this tournament.
Preseason rankings, always, even before the NIL era, you had to take with a grain of salt. But now I think it's just impossible to say what a team's projected to be. It's just, you're really picking out of a hat now, I think, certainly.
Sure are.
With new guys coming in from high school, and then you got guys transfer portal and community college guys and everything. So
community college guys, yeah.
And JUCOs and everything. It's just I think it's just blatantly unfair how you're doing that. And teams should not be penalized for how they are ranked in October, for Christ's sake. I think it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, well, the thing I always get a little nervous about is if you don't value the early games, no one's going to play those early games. So you won't get Michigan versus Duke if you don't do it. What I'd like to see is Duke has done the last 2 years playing Illinois and then playing Michigan. I thought was great. Virginia played Ohio State on Valentine's Day. I thought that was great. I wish they'd be encouraged to find a team that has the same bye you have in one of the big leagues and play on a neutral site. I think that's great. We're already in a tough situation where these leagues are coach killers and a lot of these guys are going to be unemployed. So I get why they don't want to do it. But also it can revive your team too. So if your team's in a weird place and you get to play an out-of-conference game, I think it could revive you. I know watching Ohio State play Virginia that night, I realized how good Ohio State was. I mean, they were really good. So that was, really amazed at how good Ohio State was. And, the two guard there set your record for points. He's a beast. So,
Bruce Thornton.
He's a beast. I mean, they're
he's
legit.
really good.
That team could go to the Sweet 16. It's not even a doubt. They got men.
Yep.
They got a couple of men. But the thing is, and they're a little bit hard on coach. I think he's done a good job. But at the same time, some coaches get to keep their job this weekend, which I was happy about. Like I said, supposedly it's not automatically going to be Jerry McNamara for the Cuse job. Sounds like there's some other people in the works. Sounds like Utah State coach is in the mix a little bit. So we'll have to see.
Topic here with the Big 12 there, going back to the hardwood floor after doing the LED floor lighting, and
that was disgusting.
What I was thinking of, like, this is not some high-end type of strip joint in Miami where you have lights and all kinds of different bells and whistles here. Can you just get back to playing on a regular hardwood floor? And, oh, by the way, when we get to the Final Four, can you please not play it on an elevated stage?
Oh, don't get me started. That's as bad as the football overtime rule for the first 50 years.
So I just wanted to get what your thoughts were with the and by the way, it was the ugliest damn type of court too. It was all gray. It looked like they were playing in a prison yard type of thing.
The players said that they were blinded a couple of times and had migraine headaches.
Yeah, guys. Right. So not only was the
problem is it's not it shouldn't be a gimmick. We got a basketball game here.
Right, exactly.
And again, we're losing sight of we lose sight of what it is. We're here for a basketball game, not for. If the fan has to be entertained between timeouts, then they shouldn't be at the game. Go sell the seats to somebody else.
I agree with you. I'm like, you don't need to see what a guy's shooting percentage is on the floor. You can look up on the scoreboard, for Christ's sake. I don't understand what we're doing here.
Plus, that's distracting to a player. It affects your peripheral vision.
Absolutely does.
And we don't need. And some of the guys were not happy about it. And they got rid of that floor. They said it was slippery too. I'm just happy about they got rid of it, and hopefully we'll never see that again. But the stage thing is just disgusting.
Yeah,
you're a coach. All you try to do is keep everything similar for your guys. That's why we all hate playing over holiday breaks, because it affects the player's rhythm. Intercession is a pain in the ass because it affects the player's rhythm. Coaches are petrified of this. So now you're going to go play in the biggest game of your life, and you're going to sit on a stage.
Plus, you separate the head coach from his staff, too, and the players.
I hate that. And you separate him from his team.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. I don't like it.
Yeah.
It's awful. Why do something you don't do all year long?
Yeah, there's no way to simulate it as well.
No, it's disgusting.
Yeah. But
I mean, if you play Minnesota or Vanderbilt, some of their arenas are a little different that way. But these other guys, it's disgusting. It's horrendous. Plus, you dive off the stage, you're going for a tumble.
Right. So Kansas State forward Taj Manning talked about the glass LED floor, saying, quote, "It's pretty bad, to be honest. It's slippery. The lights and stuff caused Kamari McGriff to get a migraine. It's a bad floor. They shouldn't bring it back. Nobody wants to play on that."
If March needed anything, would everybody be filling out a bracket on Monday? No, we don't need any gimmicks. This thing is good enough the way it is.
Right.
This thing is good enough the way it is. We don't need any help. This is good enough the way it is.
You don't need any extra bells and whistles and things like that.
Not in March. No, we don't.
No, I agree with you. We also wanted to bring up, Uncle Dave, like another feel-good story here of LIU with their fandom here, where you got two guys that were just local New York guys, no ties to LIU, but have created this great home court advantage here for the LIU Sharks.
You guys are the two founders of Fins Up. Tell me the story of how it started.
David and I are college basketball obsessed. Back in 2023, we said we want to sort of pick a team in the New York City area to get behind. I went to Yale. David went to Lehigh. We went to a bunch of games. We went to Manhattan, Iona, Fairfield, Columbia. We went to this LIU game in 2023, and it was the saddest home environment you have ever been in. There was maybe 12 fans in the crowd. The school was still going through a lot of drama over a mascot transition. They rebranded as the Sharks in 2021. The team was terrible. Won one Division I game. David and I were sitting in this arena, and it was empty. It was sad, and it was like, it can only go up from here. Picked it, and we said, we are going to be the biggest LIU Sharks fans.
There was like nobody in these games, and we were sitting courtside, right? So like you could fully have an impact in the game, and we were just doing everything. We were kind of making a lot of noise, starting random cheers, and all of a sudden there was one game, it was like a million fouls. and all these free throws. I didn't even know how. I think we just organically started like joking, like let's everyone hands up and then fins up. And we started doing it, and then we started telling like our friends. They all thought it was hilarious. I had no idea that the whole world would find it, or I don't know about the whole world, but the whole college basketball world. It's like everyone comes to these games just to see free throws. So it's a pretty.
I think it's a feel good story to have just someone who's like, hey, you just wanted to be a part of a program and help build them up and give them a nice home court advantage. So I think that was.
And you know what? We don't play in my alma mater, but I am an LIU alum. But we don't play at that building. A new building only was open for 3 years before the school closed. They're playing in Brooklyn, but it's good to see Rod Strickland get in. Like I said the other day, it's good to see Nolan Smith get in. A lot of good, a lot of people put a lot of time in. But Rod Strickland was really for you young guys. I mean, he was about as slick as he gets.
Oh, he's one of the best ball handlers. He's one of the best ball handlers ever. Yeah.
Played at DePaul, was also a great finisher around the rim. And if he was ever a better jump shooter, oh my goodness, what would have happened would have been amazing. Just wasn't a great jump shooter. Good player for the Knicks. Like I said, really good at DePaul. Rod was very slick with the ball. Before we talk about it tomorrow night, I'm sure whenever we talk Monday night or Tuesday night, whatever, it's not going to be the same amount of upsets. Just like last year, we're not going to see it. It's a different game now. The better players and the guys on field of 68 were dead wrong. But it's like, well, I don't think it's because of that. Like, it definitely is because of that. The best kid doesn't stay at Jacksonville State anymore. He goes to SMU.
No, it's true.
And that's what happens. These guys, the veterans who used to beat the Dukes and stuff like that because they were freshmen, they don't stay there anymore. They go. If you look at just look at SMU's team. They got senior from small school in Wisconsin, senior from Jacksonville State. Boopy used to be at Western Michigan and Wake Forest. I mean, this is what they get.
You have no advantage of being a mid-major school to be able to hang on to your guys anymore. Now they're
that's what Frank Martin even said.
Yeah.
And if you look at Virginia's roster, so you get kid from San Francisco, kid from Illinois State. I mean, Anietsu's from Kentucky, so he's big time. Dallin Hall's from BYU. So this is what you get. And you're not going to get the upsets. Last year was a really upset. It wasn't a tournament with like a lot of great moments. I love it. It was I thought it was well played, but it wasn't a tournament of great moments. And so this year, if it's been anything like championship week, that'd be great. It's going to be great.
I think so too. The game that stuck out last week, like Clemson and McNeese. Remember how bad Clemson was in that first half where they had
oh god, it was awful. But then it sticks out. It's going to stick out to people that those games that were great this week where a team's playing likewise of talent. I just don't know if we're going to get that now with this.
Well, that was the thing. It's all teams in your conference, in your division. You know them very well. So it's very different.
Yeah, so everybody can brag about, the 5 always loses to the 12. Well, I don't know about it anymore.
Yeah.
I think the George Masons of the world are going to be few and far between. I think we're going to go back to like the 80s where it didn't happen too often, where a 2 would beat a 15 once every 10 years. And a 3 might get a 14 once every 5 or 6 years, Indiana and Richmond, or Indiana and Syracuse and Richmond. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to get a lot of that anymore.
Yeah. Well, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, at least we got to see that before all this went down.
They got back in.
They did. It's their first time going back since then. So
they beat Vermont. It was great.
The Retrievers going back to the tournament. Yep.
Yeah, I always like to see Vermont lose. But the highlight of the night is definitely having Carolina fans be pissed now that they don't have another ACC title, because this will piss them off for days.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah.
Because they're very upset already. Virginia wins, it doesn't bother them. They sleep good tonight. But Duke won again. They hate that. And here's the problem. We made our transition from Coach K, the thing that they thought they would have us on. They have not made their transition from Roy Williams.
They've not. Still got my Duke guys sweatshirt on here.
Yeah, because I love Hubert Davis. He's a good dude, but you can see there's no connection with the kids there. There's just
there's something lacking for sure.
He's trying to be fiery, but he's not. He doesn't present as that head coach who's like all dotted and all of a sudden all buttoned up and looks the part. Something's missing there. I can just tell you right now. And so there's something going on there, and it's just not going to happen for him. I'm telling you, we've talked about this 1,000 times. 25-10 is not good enough at Carolina.
No, it's certainly not.
It's not good enough at Kentucky either, and it's not good at Carolina, especially if Duke is up the road getting it done. And now Kentucky doesn't like it because Louisville's up the road getting it done. They hate that. So they don't like that. So it's okay if the Mets and the Yankees both stink, But if one of them's good and the other one stink, they don't like they get pissed off. Their fans get upset. So
the only favorable day with the tournament, I'm going to hold on to hope of where you might have some upsets is because you still have these teams that they've been good, obviously, to qualify for the tournament, and they are on a neutral site. So I definitely hold out hope that maybe we'll kind of maybe slip back to how things maybe kind of were before. But maybe you're right, though, with everything being like this will be the new norm, and you just won't see as much of it as you used to.
yeah, well, so like I think they got to put Ohio and Dayton in the out bracket. And so far, I think they're in there. It looks like Miami of Ohio is going to be in Dayton, which is such a home court advantage. I don't know who they'd play, but right now it looks like if it holds, it would SMU versus Texas would be a great football game, and basketball would be fun to play too. There's a strong dislike in that state for them. But the thing is, like, I don't know who they'd have Miami of Ohio matched up with. I don't know who the other 11s are going to be. But maybe they'd play VCU or maybe they'll play St. Louis. I'm not sure who the other 11 is going to be. But it's going to be fun. Tuesday and Wednesday this year might actually have some flavor. I know that the 16-16 matchups sometimes are a little boring.
All right, basketball fans, take care. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper.
Go Mustangs.